Hello everybody, welcome to today's live stream, this week's live stream. I'm Erik and
I'm Ruud.
Yeah, I think you all know it already. Anyway, today very exciting topic, MSI Center. So we're going to talk about our software and we avoided this topic for a long time, right Ruud?
Yes, we did.
Each time, we in the past we had Dragon Center, we had the gaming app, we had a lot of software, different names, but always when you guys had problems with the software, we were like, yeah, we know, it sucks. Can I say that? I just did, So, of course, we always try to help you with answers on the questions you have, but that's not always easy with our software. So, I think in 2020 and 2020 we went to search on the internet, okay, what are the most common problems which we have? And from that we started with bi-weekly meetings, hopefully solving them, and that resulted in MSI Center. And that's what we're going to talk to you today about. MSI Center is not perfect, it's not finalized, so we're not going to discuss everything in detail. We're going to discuss some of the items we touched. We don't do anything, We're very good in, Ruud?
Complaining.
Complaining indeed.
The feedback, we call it feedback, but most of it is complaining, or your complaints we relay to our development team in HQ.
Yeah. So, as always, today we also have a giveaway. I don't have a lot of keys left anymore, Steam keys. Anyway, you can go to msi.com/2/insider. Actually, we don't have something in the background. I didn't brief our designer. That's my fault. Anyway, go to msi.com/2/insider or go to Twitch or YouTube. Over there we have a bot running which puts the Gleam link in. You can click on that as well. And you can participate in the giveaway. I only have a few keys left, 3 to be exact, but I also have 3 other keys. So those 3 keys, I'm not going to tell you from which game they are, and I will put them in the chat during this live stream. And you can, make sure you have Steam open, Ubisoft and Epic, and I don't know what all other platforms there are. First come, first serve for those 3. Yeah, I also have 3 of them. Again, I don't know if they're working. Should be.
You're just gonna paste them, and then the one who clicks first is...
Well, the one who's fastest.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's start talking about our software. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I already see a lot of things about old hardware. Is it working on this, and will this ever work on that? We're going to try to answer that this live stream. To be honest, we don't have all the answers today because this is of course ongoing development. But yeah, one thing I can say, if you're still running Dragon Center, please uninstall it. If MSI Center, that sounded negative. Anyway, maybe it was also correct, right? Anyway. If you have, I discussed it with Ruud also before this live stream. If you have Dragon Center and you don't have any problems, just continue to use it. If there is MSI Center available, I suggest you to use it, to give it a try, because it solves a lot of issues. And first we want to talk a little. Sorry?
Sorry, I just read a comment that said bring back the gaming app.
Yeah, so talking.
Luckily we don't have that one anymore.
No. Let's switch to this one. So,
but that's good. That's a good bridge to the next topic.
Yeah, indeed. Let's talk a little bit about our history, because Ruud and me, you're 20 years in MSI, 21?
21 going. Yeah.
What did you get when you were 20 years in MSI?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No.
I think HR forgot you.
No, I think they're just waiting for 25, I guess.
Nah, they told me then I was like 15 years. I said, come on, bring in the cake. They said, when you're 20 years in MSI.
I got something at 15. But it was like a glass statue.
Oh yeah, something. I have that as well. But they told me it was for like 12 and a half years.
Yeah, 12 and a half I did.
Oh, yeah.
That's the bronze
So they gave
statue.
You the 12 and a half years thing when you were 15 years?
Yeah, and 15 I got a glass thing from Taiwan. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so the bronze was 12 and a half. Yeah.
We're both already a long time in MSI, and we know. You mentioned the software. What was the first software?
The first I can remember is PC Alert 3. So
PC
probably
Alert 3.
there's also 2 and 1, but I was not in MSI at that moment, and I joined at January 1st, 2000. So yeah, it must be prior to that. So
Alpha is also in the chat talking about you miss Command Center Lite. Yeah, this is just...
yeah, Command Center is in between. Yeah, but yeah.
But Command Center Lite also, overclocking tool.
Before Command Center we had Control Center. Before that we had Fuzzy Logic, which was exactly that. And before that we had PC Alert. So yeah.
Yeah. So basically we have a long history of software. At one moment, I think this was like 5 years ago, we told our software team, hey, why not combine everything into one application? Because people don't want to have all the icons and you know, it feels like, how do you say that? Vaporware? No?
You mean
spyware, you know, bloatware. Yeah, bloatware. You know, you have so many applications, and when you have a product like a motherboard or a gaming desktop or a notebook, you know, there are a lot of functions which need this kind of software, but not everybody needs all the functions. So what we did, we put them all together into one application, and then I will show you how that works, because in the beginning, we already saw it in the chat, gaming app. This started as an app for VGA, I believe, right?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
So the first screenshot on the left over there, it's for a GPU, for a graphics card, and we had like 3 modes. Basically, you could do the overclocking from Windows, from the software, OC mode, gaming mode, silent mode. And then what you see is basically the evolution, each like year or like half year, new functions were added on. So in the second screenshot you see a small eye. I think that's blue of iRest, iCare or something like that.
Yeah, iRest I think the name was. Yeah.
Yeah, was like to lower down the blue in your screen, etc. Then what is it? Ooh. Oh, the OSD. What was it called?
Yeah, there was some kind of on-screen display like what Afterburner's doing now.
Yeah.
So FPS counters and hardware monitoring stuff.
Yeah, LED control. So this is when we introduced one of our first motherboards with, actually it was the first motherboard got like with RGB LED on it. Sorry, sorry we did this, guys.
Yeah, I think it started also with the GTX 900 series. It has the small LED on top.
On top, yeah.
Yeah, or on the side, depending on how you build the card. And that was controlled through GeForce Experience or through a gaming app.
Yeah, indeed. But it was only one color, right?
Yeah, only
the first was one color, and after that was like you could change colors. Like it was either completely red, completely green.
In the 10 series, yeah.
Indeed. Oh, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So then we added an icon for keyboard and mouse, and this was the keyboard master and mouse.
Yeah, I think also mouse master or something.
Of mouse master and keyboard shortcut or something.
Yeah, or a gaming hotkey or something.
Gaming hotkey, yes. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So and this is, and then we came up with a new design, and you see some more functions that are there, some VR stuff.
More buttons,
Yeah, so this basically is the story of our software. We always start small, and then everybody comes up with new functions, like, oh, can we add this in? And I don't want to make a separate application, can we add this? And you know, in the end it becomes a big mess. And right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So this is the same thing with Dragon Center. It started, I mean, this was a reset because this was the first try that we were trying to combining all the separate applications into one. And that's not easy because some of the applications we make ourselves, some the code base comes from a third-party vendor, and some are complete applications. So it's not easy to insert everything in one application, in one layout. But yeah, then it was, you know, we got so many more products. This is, I think, one of the later Dragon Centers, right? Maybe one of the last versions.
We have many different looks in Dragon Center, and we also had like Dragon Gaming Center, so more or less the same name, but slightly different. And also we had different looks for different products. So the notebook part looked quite differently than for example, the motherboard and the desktop part. And the desktop also had a different menu inside the Dragon Center, the first Dragon Center.
Yeah.
So there are multiple versions of Dragon Center, and some are called version 1 point something, but it doesn't mean that it's exactly the same as the Dragon Center version 1 on a notebook, because those two software were developed completely separately.
By different teams.
By different teams, indeed. Yeah.
So that also caused a huge problem because it all looked the same, but basically it was different code, it was different functions for different products.
Actually, it didn't look the same, and it only was called the same.
Yeah,
so
yeah, indeed.
Even more confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good comment in the chat is the stupid C for speed still install along MSI Center. Well, we will have an update. It's optional. So we will, it's all modular now. So we will later talk about that.
Yeah.
So not by default, for sure not. And yeah, we also got a lot of complaints about this in MSI Center, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sorry, in Dragon Center, I should say.
With Dragon Center, it's installed by default.
Yeah.
And I think you can remove it in the later versions, but it's not easy. So in MSI Center, we solved that part by making the things more modular, and it's your choice if you install it or not.
Yeah. So today we're also going to live demos. As you can see over there, Ruud has two systems. Well, we still have the RGB issue with the green screen, but I think you already know, we tried to fix it, we're working on it, some magic. Two almost identical systems. I think the mainboard is different, but hardware is more or less the same, right?
Yeah, everything's identical except for the motherboard. This one's a Z490 Edge, and this is a Z590 Edge.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But shouldn't, I mean, we don't have like 10 the same mainboards on hand here.
No.
So later we're also going to do benchmarks, show you the differences between Dragon Center, MSI Center, what kind of improvements we made. We're going to do benchmark, check the memory load, etc. All improvements. Yes, MSI Center is out, and yes, you can download it from the website if it works on your product.
Yeah.
And I see a question, will MSI Center Pro be also updated? I believe so, yes. I didn't look too much into the Pro version of it, but you're right, in the Windows Store there is also a Pro version.
The Pro version at the moment is only for the more business-like notebooks, like the Summit and the Prestige and the Creator versions. Also Workstation, I guess.
Yeah, because actually it fits to this topic. We also had a MSI Creator Center.
Yeah, it's basically the successor of this Creator Center.
Yeah.
So the design or the graphical user interface is still very much the same as this Creator Center.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, far from perfect. I mean, I think this is mostly Reddit, but whatever forum you open, so many problems. So that's why each time you guys were asking, hey, what about MSI Center or what about Dragon Center? And I have this issue, we're like, oh shit, it's very difficult to help you. But yeah, we tried to read as many complaints, as many issues with it, and of course we cannot fix everything. That's the first step, what we decided. But we made a top 10 list. I think I don't know if it have it here. Yeah. So we made a list with all the issues. Actually, these are the issues. I'm not going through it, but well, actually later you see the results. But a lot of things like no scalable interface. I think a lot of people now have high resolution screens, so it's quite annoying if your app is this big. The LED keeper.exe kept triggering the anti-cheat software from different games. Auto update was not really auto, it was like a manual update. Yeah, so many issues, and not everything is fixed, but we're working on it. Today we're also using a newer version which is still not in the store. Do you know when it will be released? In the coming weeks, right?
Not sure.
Okay, but yeah, that should be, they're working on it. And for example, Mystic Light is also a very important topic. We saw a lot of feedback on that, and we made some improvements. Later we will show you.
Yeah.
But we also, this morning, we got an email, like a long reply on Ruud's email, like this will be fixed. Yes, we're working on it. We're discussing this. So yeah, at least there is work in progress.
So this version we're going to show today is probably not the version that will actually be in the store in a few weeks, but hopefully they fixed also some parts of our feedback.
Yeah. And Windows 11, I see Merrick commenting Windows 11 is coming. Well, this is compatible with Windows 11, I hope. Did you test Windows 11 already?
Not with MSI Center.
Okay, no, okay. But separately.
It should work because it's called Windows Universal, Universal Windows platform or program, and yeah. So if Microsoft is correct about the universal part, it should work on Windows 11 as well.
Yeah, indeed. So, yeah, we're trying to keep up with the chat, but I see a lot of comments. So, yeah, you know how it works with software. You fix a problem and you have 2 other problems in return. So it's for us the last, what is it, already 9 months. We had bi-weekly meetings with software team. I was not always there. Like most times Ruud and Michiel and sometimes Peter, right?
I think we started in January 2020, so it's already 1 year and 9 months.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. So a lot of meetings, a lot of discussions, a lot of repeating, a lot of putting things back on the agenda again, trying to convince people, because sometimes it's very difficult to duplicate errors. You know, you have a problem, but we don't see it. How then to fix it? Yeah. There are a lot of different combinations from hardware, so yeah, it's not an easy task. But in the end, this is the result: new MSI Center, and yeah, like what we want to say is it's better, not perfect, and we're working on perfect. So yeah, maybe let's go through it. What else do we have here? Yeah, so first of all, installing. Ruud, you will show that, right?
I'll show the installer for the MSI Center, and yeah, the Dragon Center is already installed, but yeah, I think most people know already about Dragon Center.
Yeah. So you go to the Windows of the Microsoft Store. You search for MSI Center, and from there you can install it. It's like a UWP.
Yeah, UWP.
What is it?
Universal Windows Program.
Yeah, indeed. And this is, I don't want to say forced upon us, but it's one of the requirements for Microsoft if you have OEM full systems.
Yeah, like notebook and desktop, they need to have a certain percentage of the UWP programs.
So this is something what we cannot change, and we have to work around it, because updating an app there is not easy. So you have a lot of regulations, but that's why we use different components. So yeah, maybe Ruud, we will switch to the live systems. So we have 2 systems side by side.
Yeah.
On the left you see Dragon Center, which is the old software, and on the right you see MSI Center. So that's Dragon Center. It's already installed.
Yeah, just installed it.
Yeah. So like I told you already, it's still not perfect. So we hope that we have some crashes, so we can feedback to software team tomorrow.
This was not completely honest, because, hang on, it didn't show one of the annoyances.
Are you now talking about? Oh,
yeah, this one.
Yeah, let me go to full screen.
Yeah. So this is one of the first complaints we got, and I think a lot of people complained about this, is that every time you start Dragon Center, it shows you this page. And even if you don't want to log in, you can click Never Show Login Window again, and then say Skip. And the next time you do that, let me close it completely. Then you'll have the same as if you restarted it. So Never Show Login Window again, and the first thing you see.
Quite annoying.
So this, we have feedback so many times, but yeah. This is gone in MSI Center, so that's one of the plus.
So some questions: where is the team located? In Son? Yes, we are. Sound tune fixes. I don't know about that, CJ. Have to look into that. What about Linux? So do we have any support from Linux? Maybe, I mean, not for MSI Center, but other software?
Not on the software side, no.
And yeah, BIOS, I mean, that all works, so you can obviously install Linux.
Yeah, most of the Linux distributions work, yeah.
Yeah.
At least if you have a recent one, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. No, that's, yeah, our focus is entirely on Windows. Yeah. Basically Windows 10 and 11, the newer versions. Yeah, so this is one of the things we removed, so maybe you can install it. So this is the new system. On the right you can recognize it, MSI Center. It's not a new system, it's a clean system.
So I downloaded the parts from our website, so that's another option. So you can go through the Microsoft Store.
Can you maybe show Ruud?
We can also do it through the store, whatever.
No, I mean maybe from the website or from the store.
The website is not as easy to find, I guess, because we have a landing page. I can install it from here, there's no problem. Just need to wait a little bit longer. Hopefully the internet is fast enough, then we don't need to.
So maybe now the stream gets pixelated because you're stealing all the bandwidth.
It used to be 2 different networks, right?
It used to be, but we switched to one network.
Oh, okay.
And now we also have Wi-Fi here for our mobile cam in case we need it.
Do you have ICT department on speed dial?
No, it's going great so far. Yeah. I mean, not fast, but...
Yeah, I've tried to make it faster, and I've had some switches in Windows, but apparently Microsoft Store seems to be slow no matter how fast your internet is. So it says 74, but actually it's megabit, so it's only 7 megabytes. So yeah. It's not fast at all, and the internet connection is much faster than this.
The Pro version of this software, it's not that you need to pay or you get something extra, it's just different features for different products. And the MSI Center is mostly focused on the gaming products, and then I would say the bulk of the products. And then for Pro, this is more for the professional notebooks and for the, I think also creator, correct, Ruud?
Yeah, the creator notebooks, yeah.
For creator notebooks, for creator desktops, that kind of material.
Yeah. So what I did now is only install the UWP part. So basically that's where in program files, Windows apps, which is a hidden directory, all the so-called Windows Store apps or Microsoft Store apps are installed. If you look at the regular program files folder, there's nothing there yet, or at least only the MSI folder, because I've installed other MSI software before. If I launch it, then it will say you need to launch it as an administrator. And why is that? Because the MSI Center and also Dragon Center behaves exactly the same way. It needs to install services. Oh, it's because I ran it before.
So, Ruud, I saw a question in the chat. Do you need to remove Dragon Center before installing MSI Center? Yes.
Yes.
And we have a tool in order to do that. Sounds strange. Normally you click on uninstall. But yeah, this tool is needed to do it completely. And I'm going to now put a link in the chat. One moment.
I can show you. If I click OK, then it starts installing the regular part of the MSI Center, and which is what MSI calls the SDK, which are just a bunch of utilities and programs that run in the background. So also services and stuff like that. You can already see some here. Basically, that's the real program. The other one is just a launcher, more or less.
Yeah, so the Windows Store application is something like a downloader, which downloads the other components.
Yeah, so it also means that you can update several parts. You can update the Microsoft Store part through Microsoft Store updates, and inside the MSI Center you also have updates for the SDK part. Then you already have updates for features.
One moment. So first I would like to show everybody this because I just put the link in the chat. So what if there are any problems? Basically how to remove completely either MSI Center or Dragon Center, because the question was, should I remove Dragon Center? Yes, please. If you want to switch to MSI Center, use this link. It's a post in our forum, I believe. Yes, in our forum from Ruud. There is a tool, and that will remove it completely.
Yeah, I can demo because I just remember that the store version is the 27 version. I like to install the 31 version because then you can also see some improvements in the Mystic Light part. Well, let me first show you this version.
So one of the new things, what you see here already, is that it's modular. Yeah. So maybe Ruud, you can show, maybe we need to show it side by side.
Yeah.
If you have a Dragon Center on the left, maybe you can drag it so the menu shows.
Yeah.
You have a lot of modules, a lot of functions installed. And if you install MSI Center, basically there is a hardware monitor, there is an empty feature menu, and there is support.
If you have clicked any MSI gaming gear like headset, keyboard or mouse, then the gaming gear will also automatically be installed. So it will show in the features page as well.
And that's also improvement because here it will auto detect, but in Dragon Center it needed to be manual, right?
No, it also
gear?
pops up, but yeah, you cannot uninstall anything in Dragon Center, or at least not in an easy way.
Yeah.
And here you can just choose whatever you want. If you just want to have Mystic Light and nothing else, that's fine. You can do that. And so with Dragon Center, you get everything. So everything it can detect, it will install, even if you don't want to.
And this, of course, always also contributes to bigger hard disk size because everything is already downloaded and installed. Memory usage, and later we will also see some CPU benchmarks.
I'll just show you that the load is not that high.
Yeah.
So first we have the Mystic Light and the gaming gear installed. The gaming gear is just keyboard and mouse and with some features on it. So you can control it. So this is the current one, the Mystic Light version. And with the color wheel, we made some updates on that part. Also the ambient link part was like a separate hidden menu.
So
and
basically,
that has changed a little bit. So
if you have Mystic Light is for MSI components and everything on the mainboard connected, and then ambient link is also for devices like, do we have them here? No, like Philips UE or Nanoleaf.
Yeah.
But it was quite strange because in the end they're all RGB devices and you all want to control them in the same way.
Yeah.
But again, we first started with the motherboard itself, which was in the gaming app. Then it became this module where you had different software, and then somebody thought, okay, let's make a module for ambient link, because it's something different.
Yeah.
And now it's again in this new version, it's more integrated. Yeah. So let me check. Can you go with?
I will. In the meantime, I will just uninstall it with the uninstaller. And I'll show you how easy it is. And this also works to uninstall the Dragon Center, at least the version 2, the later versions of desktop and notebooks. And basically it's just if you want to uninstall the SDK or the GUI, that's the Windows Store part, and the SDK is the program files part, if you will. And just click the bottom one and it will remove everything. Normally you have to go to apps and features and then first do the MSI Center uninstall and then the MSI Center SDK. But there's a lot of people, they don't know that both of those programs need to be uninstalled. And sometimes some programs don't uninstall correctly or not completely or whatever. And this uninstaller makes sure that everything is removed. So next time I will install the correct MSI Center version 1.131, I believe, which is a test version, and we can show the differences with the Mystic Light.
Yeah.
So now it says uninstall complete. Okay, cool. And let's install the 1.131.
So this version is not publicly available?
No.
When you got it, like last week or something? Internal testing?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Oh, you're on holiday?
Just after my holiday, yeah. So it's beginning of September, somewhere there, yeah.
Ivan is asking, so it's a good idea to change from Dragon Center to this new version? Yes, I suggest you try it, and especially if you have any complaints with or annoying items with Dragon Center. Dragon Center will still get updates. For example, we will talk later about that. The performance used to be quite slow, like a huge load. Which we now also fix in Dragon Center. But the main focus of development, especially for the improvements we are now talking about, is all MSI Center. And in the end, everything will also move to MSI Center going forward.
I think at least for the desktop part, yes. The notebook part, so far only the 11 Gen and and newer AMDs are moving to MSI Center, and the older ones will stay with the Dragon Center.
Yeah.
So
does MSI Center have a dark mode? Yes, it does.
Yeah, we'll show you in a minute. Yeah. And by default, it will install in what is called the light mode.
So Bernard is asking, what are these new features of MSI Center? Actually, I hope nothing, because the focus for us, and of course there will be, or there are some new small features, but the focus for us, like our team, has been to improve all the issues you guys or the internet is having with Dragon Center.
Well, it solves one thing, and that's it will give you the choice what to install. So it's your choice. We don't force anything on you, and if we do, you can remove it. So gaming gear already updating. This is also new in this version. I'll have to wait until it's finished updating. Here's a settings and history button, but it's grayed out at the moment.
So maybe you can first show support?
Yeah, if it's updating, it's not really responsive to other tasks. So
well, maybe something what we still can improve?
Yeah, I think the updating part, same as with Windows. If Windows is updating, then
for the people who try to install this, first of all, this only works on MSI hardware, and it works on the. I have a list somewhere, maybe.
So this is the settings and history. Should be an S behind that. If you want to have everything updated automatically, you can do that. But you can also say, I don't want anything to update automatically. I just want to have a pop-up and say, do you want to update, yes or no? And if you want to do that later, that's also fine. So dark mode we can do?
No, one moment, Ruud.
Oh, sorry.
Because people are asking what is supported.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Basically, these MSI products are supported. So the Intel mainboards from the 300 series, AMD motherboards also from the 300 series. Well, let's say the A320 and the 400 series. I think that's more honest. GPUs from the 10 series from AMD and the 5000 series, the 10 series from NVIDIA and the 5000 series from AMD. Desktops, most gaming desktops from the last 2 or 3 years. So then we're talking about 10th, 11th and 12th gen, but not all, for sure not all. Notebooks, they're listed there, several series of models and the sizes over there, but this is not like, it looks like a list with 10 to 15 models. Actually, there are a lot of different configurations and versions of it.
Yeah, for notebooks, you can basically say 11th gen Intel or AMD 5000 series and later.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then the gaming gears, they're listed, I think, all recent hardware from the last 2 to 3, 4 years, I would say even, maybe even longer. Yeah, and more to come. More to come means 2 things. First of all, some old products are also getting an update to MSI Center, so from Dragon Center to MSI Center. And of course, everything in the future will get MSI Center support.
Yeah, and you cannot install Dragon Center for that anymore.
No. Yeah, so basically we're trying to phase out Dragon Center. Yeah. A lot of questions, chat going fast. They are only reading, I need to scroll one moment. They are only reading positive comments and ignoring the problems and bugs with Dragon Center. Mohit on YouTube. No, I think you're missing the point. We are now here to tell you we are working on improving Dragon Center. And that basically means we end of life Dragon Center, and the improvement is called MSI Center. So if you have Dragon Center and if you have issues, please first try MSI Center. I cannot guarantee you that everything will be fixed. We have limited time, of course, so we focused on priorities, meaning the biggest problems. We saw a lot of people complaining about it on the internet, most annoying problems, stupid problems, but basically trying to cover with 20% of the problems, trying to make 80% of the people happy. Again, not everything is fixed. We set priorities, so but at least the progress is good.
And there's also so many different combinations possible, so it's impossible to test
Insomniac is saying my Mystic Light never worked on Dragon Center motherboard, just stay red. It is possible because some motherboards only have red LEDs.
Yeah.
It is possible, but it really depends on your motherboard.
Also, some motherboards have updated a LED firmware. Also, the motherboard has a controller for LEDs, and sometimes you need to update that part. Also, contact MSI support for that. They will give you a tool to update the firmware. You can try that at least.
So 14 fish, yes, MSI Center replaces Dragon Center. Will in the future MSI Center be compatible with 10th gen processors? For notebooks? Sorry, I'm not sure.
I don't believe so, no. Not for notebooks, but for desktop, yes.
Yeah. Elvis on YouTube, MSI Center or Dragon Center? Please, someone can tell me. If you have the choice, if both work, or if both are available for your hardware, your MSI hardware, please, MSI Center. So I will also check with our, I think on the website, Ruud, we only actively offer MSI Center, right? For the products which are compatible. Dragon Center has been removed, not?
Well, Dragon Center is still in the Microsoft Store as well, so
yeah,
you can still. Yeah,
maybe we should remove the IDs for compatibility, so it will say it doesn't work with this hardware, please use MSI Center.
Yeah, but apparently it says so when you've already clicked on it. So
yeah, that's true. But that's the Windows Store.
Yeah, I tried it on a 10th gen notebook, or Intel 10th gen CPU inside, and I installed MSI Center, and it installed at least the first part, and then I tried to run it as administrator. Says it doesn't support your platform. So.
Yeah. Ruud, can you please go to a browser and show the landing page? Because
oh yeah, sure.
Let me see.
On this system, yeah, no problem. MSI Center.
Somebody was asking. Oh, Eugene is asking: is there an alternative way to install downloadable installer? Windows Store is problematic for me. Yeah. So first of all, Google for MSI Center. You will find a landing page called msi.com/ I think MSI Center, and there you also find indeed download. So this
actually no. Okay. But I saw it on.
Sure now we go to some illegal forum.
No, don't worry. But I thought we had. I don't know. Is it MPG? Doesn't really matter.
You thought we had an executable?
Yeah, I'm just checking if we still have it as a download on our product. Yeah, you can still download it if you go to a new motherboard that supports MSI Center, and you can just download it there.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah, I would have expected it to also be on the landing page.
Ethan is asking, will Core Liquid K240 have GIF support through MSI Center? I don't think so. Anyway, next week we're going to talk about all our liquid coolings, including new S, the Silent series. So, conclusion, who was it? Eugene. Eugene, yes, you can still download, go to a motherboard, a recent motherboard, like this is the Z590 Carbon EKX, and go to Utilities, Windows 10, 64-bit. I think that's the only option in the menu.
Yep.
And then you get a downloadable executable.
Yeah,
without the Microsoft
basically the
source.
Same as I use for the test version.
Yeah,
it's just one exe, and it's about 400 to 500 megabytes.
Can I offer this download link in the chat?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. I will do later on. Yeah, so Ruud, maybe you can show the dark mode.
Oh yeah. Can you switch back to the MSI Center system, because now we're looking at the Dragon Center system.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the light mode. That's the default, and this is the dark mode, which is much darker. And I also prefer, because my Windows is in dark mode as well.
Yeah. So, like what we say, some improvements, but not perfect, because one of our feedback, which is still on the list, is to make this automatically link to the Windows scheme.
Yeah.
Makes more sense.
Yeah. lots of software already does this, and of course you should still have a choice to choose light mode even if Windows is in dark mode, but automatically switching would be the preferred default.
Yeah.
The other thing that people were asking for, especially if you're having a large display and high resolution, is scalable. So you can now make it smaller. Well, this is the smallest it gets, but I'm at a 150% zoom, so it's already much smaller than the rest of the interface.
I can show that also on a 4K screen. That would look like this. On the left side you see MSI's Dragon Center.
Yeah.
On a 4K screen.
Yeah.
This is 38 inch or something?
Yeah, it can be any size.
Yeah,
if it's a 4K, it can be a 55 inch, and then so it's wall to wall.
Yeah, you can imagine this is huge because the interface is scalable. On the right side, same system with MSI Center with a scalable interface, so you can make it as big as you want or as small. Well, not as small as you want, but make it a reasonable small size.
Yeah. I must say Dragon Center is scalable, so if you change the scaling in Windows and restart, then Dragon Center scales, but you have no control over it. It will always show like some percentage of your screen real estate, so and most of the time it's like 75% will be covered by Dragon Center.
Yeah.
That doesn't leave a lot for other programs.
Yeah. So these, we notice a lot of people are switching to higher resolutions as well as gamers. So these kind of annoying things makes the program almost unusable, because you're like this on your screen. Me, old eyes, of old guy with bad eyes, and then suddenly, oh my God.
Yeah.
So this is also something what we fixed. Oh, sorry, Ruud, here.
So first let's go to the features page, because I think that's one of the most interesting improvements over Dragon Center. So Dragon Center, you can everything will be installed automatically, and with MSI Center you can install whatever you want, but you can also choose not to. So by default only the hardware monitoring part is installed, so that's just a simple page with voltages, temperatures and megahertz and other clocks, GPU usage. And if you have gaming gear, it will pop up as well. So you can do the settings for your mouse and keyboard. I don't have a headset attached at the moment on neither system. The other part that's also standard included is the live update part. This is also a function that is in Dragon Center, and basically it's just scanning for updated drivers, and you can even scan for bias and VGA biases through the advanced button.
Sorry, Ruud, 1 moment. I put a code in the chat, first come first serve. I'm not sure if it still works. I told you I have a few codes left for the giveaway, and some I will post in the chat. If it works, good luck. It's not a Steam code, that's a hint. I don't know. I really don't know.
So with the live update you can also see there's a new BIOS update for this motherboard, and also a new update for the graphics card. Not going to install it now, but
so basically there are 3 components to update. You have the Microsoft app. Yeah. You have the modules.
Yeah, the features. Yeah.
The features indeed, and then you have the feature modules, and then you have the live update, which is the
drivers, biases. Yeah.
Indeed, for the
Sometimes
hardware.
also it will give you a third-party utilities like Intel Extreme utility, and also the Norton security.
Yeah, so for this one, no drivers or hardware or BIOS is found, right?
No, I already ran it during testing.
Yeah. Okay,
but
so
the BIOS I didn't change because most of my testing has been done on.
Yeah. So
BIOS.
One question about that. Some time ago, this person was asking, can I flash BIOSes with this without that it hangs or something? He said he had problems with Dragon Center, that when you flash BIOS, anyway, he had some problems.
In the past, we used an AMI tool. We use AMI BIOSes and also their utilities. And we always say, I'm a support guy, so normally I say, go to the BIOS and flash your BIOS inside the BIOS with mFlash utility, which is just a function inside the BIOS. What you do is download the file and then put it on a USB stick and go to the BIOS, click on mFlash, say I want to update, choose the file you want and go with the update. That hardly ever fails, at least if you don't have a power short circuit or power outage, then it doesn't fail many times. So we have a very good success rate on that. So with Dragon Center, and especially the older versions, we always flashed inside Windows, which is, yeah, I think every brand has this problem, and within Windows, BIOS flashing is not very reliable. So what we do now is we still use mFlash, but it's called through the MSI Center, and it downloads the BIOS file only. Then it restarts, it loads the mFlash function from the BIOS, and it selects the file you MSI Center downloaded for this motherboard. So that should be a lot more reliable than the Windows Flash utility. Yeah. But there are still some issues with that. We heard some people feedbacking, not many, but there are some examples that it failed, and then you still need to have a recovery for your BIOS.
Yeah. So
we're
it's
still
improved?
investigating. Yeah.
So it's improved. It's done via mFlash.
So reliability for BIOS flashing should be immensely improved. VJ BIOSes flashing inside Windows isn't a big deal. Usually it works, and if it doesn't, you can just try again because it's not a fatal error.
It's not a bootable device.
It's not a bootable device, so Windows will still start. And the worst thing that can happen is that the graphics card is not recognized anymore. If you have integrated graphics or an extra graphics card lying around, which is maybe hard in these times, but
Ooh,
maybe an
don't
old
mention
one,
that.
you know, like a GT210. It only needs to boot to Windows, and you can flash your card again. So if a motherboard fails or the BIOS is no longer working, then the whole system cannot start to Windows. If your graphics card fails and you can borrow someone else's graphic card, you can still boot through that graphics card and then flash the other card. So,
I see Lord Mage saying, I read some reports that 7C79, don't know which model, have needed RMA with mFlash approach. You know what code that is for what model?
No.
Maybe OEM.
Yeah, I used to know so many different codes.
Yeah, you're getting old.
Yeah, I'm getting old. Well, there's also an easy way to find out which model that is, or at least which family it is, because if you go to our website and you punch in that code, is 7C79. It just pops up which motherboards are this motherboard.
Okay.
So the Z490 Gaming Edge Wi-Fi, the exact model I have here.
Did you hear about that? That a lot of RMA with mFlash approach?
No, not with. I flashed this one, no problem. So. I always use mFlash, so yeah.
Ruud, can you maybe also go back to the support menu? Oh no, sorry. First go to the modules, because we're talking about updating.
Yeah.
Yes. A person saying, can you please make a description? It's already gone, but something like make a description. But I think there is already a description describing what the module is doing. So for example, you have Frost AI cooling, link and program system fans, to CPU and GPU temperatures.
Yeah.
Well, not all. I mean, speed up and superchargers, they don't have a description, but actually we discussed we should phase them out.
Yeah. In Dragon Center, these two are also optional. They're not installed by default.
Yeah, like speed up is a USB speeding up program, which is not needed anymore. It's something from the past. What was it, USB 2 or first USB 3?
USB 3 also.
Yeah.
Basically what it does is if you have set up your system for power saving a lot and you still want to have fast USB speeds, then it will just wake up the system during the USB transfers. So it will make sure your CPU doesn't go into deep sleep.
And supercharger is something to charge your phone faster, but I think those standards are already outdated a long time now. Everybody has way faster charging methods than this, right?
Yeah. Also, there's no interface in that utility.
No, indeed.
You can also click install all if you want to do that.
Yeah.
We can do that if you just want to go.
Well, maybe is it possible that you I don't know if it's useful, compare the size between this program and the old program?
Yeah, we can do that, but then I only click what's already in the Dragon Center on the Z490 Edge, because then it's a fair comparison.
It's fair if you do it like without anything. I mean, that already shows.
Oh yeah,
you can do whatever you want with it.
We can show it first. Okay. So now only the gaming gear part is installed. And where did I put it? I have a very old program. Yes, I'm old. Yeah, I still like this program.
So Melvin is asking why is 10 Gen on the laptops not supported? To be honest, I don't know if we're going to support that. So I'm not saying it's not going to be supported. I'm only saying it's currently not supported, but no promise.
Yeah. So basically, this is the space and. It just resizes the squares for the folder size. I should run it as an admin, sorry. Because now otherwise it cannot see the Windows apps folder because it's hidden. So the Windows apps part is that's where all the Windows Store apps are installed, and this is there's a code in front of it, and then it says MSI Center. So that's about 662 megabytes, more or less. And the other part, the SDK part, is inside the programs files x86, and that's another 308.
Oh, nobody can see that, Ruud. Can you?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like that.
That's about 309 megabytes. Megabytes. So, yeah, what was the other one? Already forgot. 662, so 971, something like that. So less than a gig. So we can go to the Dragon Center part, which is also installed by default and didn't include anything else.
What is this program called?
Spacemonger.
Where did you find that?
I think it's still 2007 or something.
I like it. I also have an old program for that, but I think it's called Tree Size or something.
Yeah, there are different ones. There's also WinDirStat, but you need to install it. So this is like a portable program.
Yeah.
There's another one, Space. I use that one as well, but
I like this one just by name only.
Yeah. I also like it because it's very easy, clear, and very simple program. So here we, with Dragon Center, you also have the same setup. So in Windows apps, you will see a Dragon Center there, and it will show you how big it is. It's 741 megabytes, so it's slightly larger. And also in program files x86, you will have the Dragon Center, which is 447. So that's more than 1.1 gigabytes. So roughly 1.2 gigabytes instead of 900 something megabytes. So slightly smaller. Even if you install all the features on the MSI Center part, and if you make them equally having the same functions, then the size are almost identical.
It's like amazing how huge this is. I still remember some like 64K competitions. They did complete demos in 64 kilobytes.
Yeah, but we used to have like graphics drivers that were on a floppy.
Yeah.
But things don't stay that small. I mean, if you download the NVIDIA driver, it's close to 700 megabytes already. So, and then it will be installed. Oh, actually, you can show that as well here. Where is the NVIDIA package?
Left, yeah.
Yeah, here we have that's 760 megabytes installed. There's another part here, that's a 221, and there's another part here, so that's also a 300.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. If you go search for that kind of stuff, then you realize how big things are getting.
Yeah.
Even the Intel, what's Intel package? Probably is a network driver or something, you know. And you think, what do you need that for? It's already installed, so why is the setup there? Anyway,
yeah.
Probably you need a good cleaner and then remove some of the unused parts. Anyways, I think we need to go back to the MSI Center part, and now it's scaled a bit larger than I hoped for, so rescale it a little bit. Okay. What do you want to install? Everything, or?
Yeah, in the end, just show everything.
I mean, just click everything. You can also click one by one, and then it will queue all the features and download them one by one in sequence. And then once one is downloaded, it will start installing, and so on and so on.
Yeah. So meanwhile, I will do a giveaway.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do a lucky draw. So this giveaway is for Steam voucher. If you want to participate, you can go to msi.com/2/insider, or on YouTube and Twitch. There is a spam bot running. I always call it a spam bot, you know, guys. I don't know why this program is so slow. Now. I don't know. Quite annoying.
We're still checking if we can speed up the downloading part on the
This is
features.
coming from MSI servers?
Not sure, because it's not from the Microsoft part, so... What we have on our website, for example, for drivers is like a content delivery system, and if it has been already downloaded in your territory before, then it will be fast. If you're the first, of course, it will be a little bit slower.
So caching, you mean?
Yeah, so for example, the Akamai content delivery network, if Europe has already downloaded a Realtek audio driver, then the next person that is in the same territory will download from the same server and doesn't have to go from the original server.
CDN.
Yeah, CDN. So I think we should move the features also there. It looks like it's now on one location, and that's limiting the download
Okay,
speed.
so the first winner for a Steam voucher, Steam Wallet voucher, is Leonardo68. Congratulations! In the coming days, probably tomorrow or Friday, I hope to do it before the weekend. I will send you an email. With the voucher, if you want to participate, you can still do. And yeah, like what I said, I only have a few vouchers left. And at random times I will put a game code in the chat, which you can redeem somewhere, not sure where. I saw people talking about it. It was Valhalla. Don't know that. MSI Center needs to show GPU temperatures, Ruud. Does it show those?
Not sure.
Can you go to the hardware monitoring?
Yeah,
because
it needs to update first, and then you can switch.
Okay, yeah.
I can click on it, but it's not responding.
Will the new Dragon Center, well, we prefer to call it MSI Center, just to avoid confusion, detect inbuilt lighting hardware like laptops, Not sure what you mean, but yes, if there is RGB LED and if it's supported, it will show you that it is supported.
And does he mean like the keyboard RGB or?
Yeah, on notebooks, basically on MSI notebooks, you have two types of RGB. Either it's in the keyboard, or some notebooks have the front, right?
Yeah, in front of the palm rest part. Or sometimes even on the lid as well. Not sure if we still do that on notebooks.
Yeah,
we used to have like a GE with that.
Not GG is saying, wonder what new codes MSI will get after these are all given out. Yeah, good question. You know, we have access to a lot of codes, but most of them are giving problems, like some cannot be redeemed in this country, and yeah, we try not to exclude countries. But it's always very difficult, and the codes which we get from Ubisoft are sometimes geo-locked, so they can only be redeemed in USA, and then we need to try to get a badge which is also for APAC and Europe, so it's not easy. But anyway, we're working on some new codes, and of course in the future also, again, we will have some hardware giveaways from time to time.
It says GPU usage, but it doesn't seem to say.
No, I'm still hunting for my own Battlefield copy.
Okay, is something wrong here?
Maybe I need to order a new GPU in order to get one, or just buy it, order it.
I rescaled it and now it says Fahrenheit. Just click on it. Yeah, okay. Probably.
So GPU temperature is not here.
So CPU core temperature and socket temperature are here, but GPU temperature is not.
But it's quite confusing because now on the left side I see GPU frequency and GPU clock.
Yeah.
Why? Oh no, it's CPU. Sorry, CPU and GPU.
Yeah.
And then below there it's CPU and CPU. So it's better to move the socket temperature to the left and the GPU usage to the right, right? Correct?
I would just
use Afterburner.
Afterburner is good. Yeah. This needs improving. Yeah, definitely. Also, what's up with the 3.3 volts? Is that really that interesting that it has to be on the top list? Not really. Already feedback that part, so yeah. We should redesign this page completely and make it more useful. So
hardware monitoring is something we didn't touch because it didn't cause a lot of issues. And again, for sure there are everywhere improvements we can make, but we focus on fixing problems instead of adding new features, etc. But no doubt we will try to touch everything.
Yeah, if you want to do hardware monitoring, then go with the HW Info. I really personally think is one of the best. Also works very well with MSI motherboards. So we also have contact with the developer. So we also make sure.
We make sure it works.
Yeah, we make sure that the temperatures they display, that it's the correct name and stuff like that. So you will get it right with the MSI motherboards and maybe not with all the other brands. Anyway. But that's a lot more if you want to really troubleshoot and see if you have any temperature issues, if you have any throttling, and what you said also, the Afterburner. If you have any in-game issues, then Afterburner will show it on screen during gameplay, and that will help a lot.
So Mutasim on YouTube, will MSI Center replace Dragon Center 2.0 for all existing products? No, step by step. And we have the supported hardware. We already showed it you before. I need to go here. So this list. Please make a screenshot, then we can continue because we already showed it there. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Ruud, can you maybe show my device? Because we already said the annoying pop-up is not there anymore.
No, yeah, you can still log in if you want to, but it's not popping up anymore. So. Yeah, it's not forcing you to register or to sign up or log in. You can still do that, and with my device you can also say I have this device and I want support on my keyboard or mouse or motherboard or graphics card.
Yeah, so this MSI Center is one of the ways to get support. The account in this, there is one central MSI account, which also is your support account, in which you can register hardware. Sometimes you have bundles or giveaways with certain products. Also means you need to register your product over there, and then you get this bundle like an SSD or something.
You can also use it as your login for the forum.
And, so it's one account for a lot of MSI services, and that also works with MSI Center. I always need to think, Dragon Center, no, this is MSI Center, okay. With MSI Center, so you can register your hardware but without the annoying pop-up.
Yeah, if you want to, you can, and if you don't, then it will not pop up.
Yeah, maybe you can show the support menu, because we're now talking about support anyway.
There's some extra stuff here as well. So the live update is still there, of course. The system info is just showing you what you've installed, including some biases for your graphics card and motherboard, firmware device for the keyboard and the mouse, and headset if you have one. And contact us is basically a link for creating a web ticket, which is basically the same system. It's the account.msi.com. It used to be called register.msi.com. Now it's changed to account.msi.com. But basically it's the same website, and you can...
They always have those difficult 25 plus 5. Okay.
Yeah, you can choose another one. It's more difficult.
You know, in the past when they introduced this, I thought I needed to repeat that. So I was like 16 plus 3 is.
Yeah.
But then they said, no, you need to solve it. Okay, more difficult. Anyway, with Google you can solve everything.
Yeah, exactly.
1 plus 1, okay.
Yeah. So a hotline, it will ask you which territory you live. And
do we have a hotline in each country?
In most countries, yes. Not in every country.
Maybe we should make one live stream about our support, interface architecture or layout, or how to get support.
Yeah, the problem is with the support per country. Some countries only support like telephone support for only certain products like notebooks and full system desktops, like in the Netherlands where we live. So for the rest, you still need to go through the account.msi.com and ask for support there, or go through the forum, but that's a user-to-user forum, so only volunteers are just helping you. Also, some MSI engineers are also on the lookout, so if any big issue on the forum, they will also respond. A service location is if you have such a notebook or a desktop system, full system. You can ask for repair, also in which territory you live, and make contact with them. You can also handle this through the account.msi.com yourself. So you can check with support if you need to send it in for service, yes or no.
On Twitch, Nishiban is having an interesting comment. MSI Center is only in the MSI store in the US, the App Store that is. Do you know what he's talking about? The App Store of the App Store from Microsoft is worldwide available, the Microsoft Store, right?
Yeah.
In Windows. And we can download it here. We're not based in the US, as you can clearly hear.
Yeah.
So, are you from Japan? Or which country? Please let us know which country you have problems.
I'm not sure what he means. If
no, you're correct.
Is MSI Center only in the
doesn't
US,
work.
or is MSI Center the only one in the store? Because Dragon Center is also in the store, and MSI Center Pro is also in the store. So,
anyways, please let us know.
I can open up the store and show you what we see. If I just search for MSI, then it should list most of the MSI software. So MSI Dragon Center, MSI Driver App Center, that's for older notebooks. MSI Center Pros for newer business-like notebooks. MSI Center, that's the one we're talking about today.
Yeah.
And MSI Creator Center is also for business-like notebooks, which are a little bit older than the Center Pro. 7-zip is not from us. MSI Help Desk is the same with the MSI Driver app, is for older notebooks. MSI Viewer, that's a Microsoft installer thing, so that's not a MSI hardware related thing. That's about it. That's why
Can we maybe switch to the notebook, Ruud, to show some things?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because we have here two desktops, and on a notebook there are different things.
I have the GF66 Katana. It's a 11 Gen notebook, Intel 11 Gen. I don't appear to have any network.
Shouldn't be region specific. Yeah. Well, as you saw, here we can download it.
Yeah, it should be available everywhere, but I haven't checked everywhere, so no. I cannot comment on that part.
I cannot download Mystic Light, so in order to access that, you should install MSI Center, and in MSI Center you can download the module.
Or if he or she is on older hardware, like older motherboards, there was a separate Mystic Light program, like Mystic Light 3.
You can download it on the support page from your product.
Yeah, this should be still available, yeah. So you want to switch to a notebook?
Yeah, please. Let me check if that's working. Yes.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, that's the background. Okay, so MSI Center is pre-installed. I haven't clicked anything or installed any extras yet.
Can you show the general settings?
Yeah, the features that are installed are user scenario for notebook, very handy because some people just want to have a balanced performance, or you want to have extreme performance, or more like a silent mode, or a very economic mode. And the general settings are more related to the peripherals of the notebook, like the webcam, the keyboard, and the switching of the keys. Sometimes also the overdrive of the display, and also you can have a crosshair. And there was also, if you have a more high-end notebook, you even have what they call the MUX switch. So you can
I can see that. I'll show you that.
You can switch off what they call NVIDIA Optimus, or the official name is MS Hybrid.
So that's a GPU switch, right?
That's a GPU switch, yes. If you switch to discrete GPU, then it means the GPU is also handling the output of the displays, even the built-in display on your notebook. And that will speed up some programs, especially if you have like a high FPS game like CSGO or Rainbow Six Siege, all those fast-paced games that will speed up and give you some extra FPS.
Yeah. Cairo Kite, Ruud, on Twitch is saying he has a B560 motherboard and he cannot via MSI Center download the Mystic Light module.
And what B560M motherboard is that? Because
that's also a good question.
If it's a Pro version, maybe it still has the RGB headers, doesn't it? Not sure. I have to check. Most of the time, I'm testing the software on the gaming.
It's a Pro motherboard, so most likely it doesn't have RGB.
Yeah.
Because most Pro mainboards, we only have LEDs, which cannot be changed. The color cannot be changed. It's just saying, I have a problem, or I don't have a problem. With the RGB header.
It has an RGB header.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
I don't want to go into too much details, but I'm willing to look on this one. Now you got me curious. That's good. Well, when we test the software like Mystic Light, we usually have like the MAG and the MPG and the MEG.
The most high-end stuff.
Yeah, because that one has the most RGB stuff, and we can test more things. So let's assume it's the regular Pro. Not sure. First, see if it offers the software. So yeah, it says the MSI Center is supported, so that's good. And not sure if it has the
which used to work with Mystic Light, but once it just stopped working, I reinstalled it and couldn't download it through MSI Center. So maybe use the MSI Center or Dragon Center removal tool, which we posted in the chat earlier. I can post it again. Because then you know 100% sure you removed all old components and there is no conflict anymore. And then install MSI Center again.
Yeah.
Glitching Pixel of Pixel. Does MSI Center have LAN control? Yes, it does. When your motherboard supported as well. I think most motherboards, if we're talking about motherboards, most motherboards have LAN control. Indeed.
LAN manager. Yeah, that's the official name of the.
So Cairo Kite is saying I did, still doesn't work.
Yeah. In the same link as on the forum with where the uninstaller is, there's also a log file generator, more or less. I think it's called Collect Log Tool or something.
I will post the link again.
MSI Collect Log Tool, that's the official name. And you should send that log to
support.
So if you have an account, send it to account.msi.com, register, log in there and ask your support question, and also attach the log file you have. From that log tool they can see what MSI Center is detecting for hardware and also capabilities of your motherboard regarding Mystic Light. But the motherboard does have an addressable RGB header and a regular RGB header.
So it should be supported.
Work,
yeah.
So
probably there is some conflict also because you're saying it works before.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks Ruud. Let's continue. So we also have a user scenario here in the menu.
Yeah. User scenario is mostly for notebooks.
But it's also supported on motherboards, right?
Yeah,
and gaming desktops.
Yeah. It is also available on motherboards and on desktops, but for the notebooks it controls the power settings and also the fan settings. So this needs to be tuned. You can do extreme performance, but then also the fans need to ramp up much quicker, especially if you have a very thin laptop. Then fan speed need to be very quick. Especially if you allow a lot of power, and it will give you extra performance, but probably also extra noise. So that's why there's also like a balance mode. So it's the best of both worlds. And silent mode is more silent, but you will lose some performance. And if you go with the super battery, you will lose most of the performance. So I wouldn't recommend that unless you don't need any performance.
Ruud, feedback in the chat from Julian Hart, and I already saw this comment earlier. I'm not sure who posted it. Would you show people how to disable the auto updates through MSI Center? I did, and auto update corrupted my RGB firmware. And I saw earlier, maybe it was the same person, also a comment that it corrupted. He had an RMA. Yeah, here. Oh, that's also Julian.
Yeah, there are several updates possible in MSI Center, also in Dragon Center, because the.
Are you going to show that in the PC desktop?
Yeah, the MSI Center one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's two parts. This one is the always update part. That's the UWP part.
For Microsoft Store.
Yeah, but inside the store, there's also settings. So if you go to Store and Settings, you can only, update apps automatically. So if there's a new MSI Center, it will start updating that if this is on. Even if this is off, I think, but not 100% sure about that. So there are multiple mechanisms that updates the UWP part. Then inside the new version, this is the new version of a test version of MSI Center. You also have control about the MSI Center SDK. That's where the services are installed, which run in the background, also for your Mystic Light and also other stuff, and the features part. So if you don't want to have auto update, then you need to click Reminder. but this is not in the current version that everybody has installed now at this moment.
This is a new version, should be released in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
No promise.
I've pushed a lot to get like one page where you can control what is updated or how it's offered to you, and apparently they still have multiple settings pages for this.
I was just laughing because Cairo Kite is saying I cannot even log on the website. I think he wants to jump out of the window. It's best to contact MSI support. They can help you with the log function. Sorry. What about dark mode? Yes, we have also light and dark mode. We just showed you. So Julian, of maybe talking about the problem from Julian, Ruud, because he says it corrupted my RGB firmware. How does this get updated? Is this by the RGB module or is this by live update?
Live update can update it, yes.
But how is this normally? But how is this normally updated?
I've seen live update offer me LED firmware for the motherboard.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, the update was successful, but
I
haven't tried that much because LED firmware doesn't get updated that much.
No.
But I've read in the forum that there's some models that get corrupted, and I think it's even inside the MSI Center forum thread that was posted by one of our moderators as well. So,
and is it fair to say that the RGB module Mystic Light will not update the firmware?
Yeah, that won't affect the firmware. At least it shouldn't. But
okay. So because I wanted to get this clear because Julian said, can you please show us how to disable the auto updating? But basically, it's the firmware updates are always triggered by you.
Yeah, by live update. Live update is never an automatic process. We also asked, not to do that because this live update part is for drivers and programs. And the advanced part, that's even the firmware part, and also for the gaming gear, but also the motherboard bias and the graphics card bias and stuff like that. So this is more intrusive. If this fails, then you probably have an issue with your hardware. So, but this is the part that will also update your LED firmware on your motherboard. But that should never happen automatically. So I don't know what was caused, how this was caused, but I've read that there are downloadable packages to reflash your LED firmware on certain motherboards, but not on all of them. So.
Okay, so Stingcool is quite confused. He has MSI Live, MSI Dragon, MSI Center. It's all different, he's saying. Well, there is only one MSI Center in the Dragon of it. Now I confused myself. There's only one MSI Center version. Everything will move to that. So in the end, all new hardware will be supported in MSI Center, and that's available also via the Microsoft Store. But you can also download it via one of the products on our website as an executable. Why is Norton in there? That's third-party software. If you want it, you can use it. It's not installed automatically. No bloatware. These are third-party applications.
Yeah. If you can switch back to the notebook part, then in the features page, at the moment it's only like the general settings and the user scenarios installed.
You have also system diagnostics, right?
Yeah. So also the Mystic Light part. This notebook doesn't have that much control. It has a backlit keyboard. It's only red color and you can only adjust the brightness, so you don't have that much to work with. But the Mystic Light part can also connect to the Philips Hue and the Nanoleaf. Yeah. So the user scenario we already. The MSI recovery. That's where you can create a recovery key. Or USB key.
Can you show that?
It's under support. It's MSI recovery, and you can create a USB flash disk. It's basically to set your Windows back to factory defaults.
Yeah. And is it something you need to do one time before you start using it, or I mean, because you get a new product, then you should do that, right?
Yeah, it's wise to do that, of course. If you want to ever sell your laptop, or you want to have it back in the old condition, or in the condition you bought it, then yeah, that would be wise. But you can always say, if something really terrible happens, I will just download the latest Windows and I will install it manually. That's also possible.
Yeah. Can you install system diagnostics as well?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
let's
do that.
Diagnosis.
Yeah,
what is the correct English?
The naming part, we also feedback. It should be diagnostics, or yeah.
Sounds more familiar to me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we have a setting page, and there's multiple settings. So
yeah,
you know, that's the language, I think. Game highlights is not that interesting. Gaming mode.
Yeah, we will show later. Yeah. Maybe show diagnostics.
Yeah, I think the gaming mode part used to be for Dragon Center used to be always installed, but not a lot of people use it, and especially the way it is now. So now it's not forced anymore. You can just download whatever you want, and if you don't want it, just leave it.
But also uninstall. If you tried something and you don't like it or you don't need it, just uninstall it.
Yeah. Let's go to the system diagnosis.
Yeah.
So basically, the battery calibration is, of course, because now we're running it on a notebook or laptop, if you will. And the system checker part is clean up the disk, which is just a shortcut to the Microsoft Windows clean disk utility.
Yeah.
Free up memory will just close any unused programs. This used to be in Dragon Center as well.
So when you have MSI SSD, the system checker will also be there, right? But when you have a motherboard, it will not be there.
Not by default, no.
Yeah, so the modules can differ per hardware you have.
Yeah, they're working on this module as well on our new MSI SSDs, and then it will give you more details than this one, because this one is having a Kingston SSD, but it still shows you what the smart, that's the reporting tool inside an SSD, shows you the condition of the SSD. But only if it's healthy or not. So if you need to replace it, it will show you it's not good, or it's ready for replacement.
So Great King on YouTube has a not great idea. Can we use both new center and old one? No.
No.
Not a good idea. Not a great idea.
No, it's not even possible. If you install MSI Center, it will uninstall Dragon Center, I believe. So, yeah.
So please don't try it.
Yeah.
Then another feature for notebooks, is this one True Color?
Yeah, I have a notebook that doesn't really support any different color gamuts than sRGB, or even less than that.
This depends on the panel which is in your
so if
notebook.
you have more like a creator type notebook, then the panel is probably also better. And
you can then switch between sRGB, Adobe, and those kind of...
Yeah, DCI-P3, those are the colors that matter to either the more the photographic users or the video users.
Yeah.
Or the content creators, I should say.
So this you find on certain products. This is not only notebooks but also screens, I guess.
This is a separate program for notebooks, and it's also installed inside the system tray, so you can control it through MSI Center, but you can also control it through its own application.
Yeah.
And what it does on a notebook is much more than it does on a motherboard. On a motherboard, it will show you some color profiles. For the notebook, it will give you a per notebook, so every serial number is factory calibrated, and it will get that calibration file from the server, and it will install your panel or set up your panel so that it will meet or will be as good as possible in reproducing colors in all the different settings.
Yeah, so it's more for developers, creators, designers.
Yeah. If you want to have color accuracy, of course you need to recalibrate every several months, but this is the factory calibration part. And if you have like a a color meter, then you can also recalibrate through the True Color software, so you don't have to buy other software to recalibrate.
Yeah. Okay, then yeah, one other item on a notebook, and maybe Ruud, I go back to my PowerPoint, which is Do It Display.
Yeah.
So this is a function. I can show you how it looks, but basically you can use your iOS tablet. How you call that? iPad, right?
Yeah.
You can use an iPad in order to. Well, actually, funny. My sons, they don't have an iPad. They just have a tablet, but I just still call. Hey, where's your iPad? Hey, give me your iPad. Strange. Anyway, this, like what I said, Do It Display only works in combination with an Apple iPad. The software on the iPad costs money. I think it's $30 US.
20.
Oh,
yeah.
20. Oh, that's a lot of money less. $20 US. So if you want to use this, it can be used for games. It can be used for creating stuff. Basically, it's a second screen.
Yeah.
And this is only available on selected models, meaning you can have this on some notebooks and on some gaming desktops. And I think they're all like 11th or 12th, or no, 11th gen, right? 10th or 11th gen, I should say.
But I think only the high end, yeah.
Yeah, indeed, indeed.
So this GF doesn't have that.
Nick is having a good question. How to permanently turn off RGB? Well, several ways how to do that. First of all, in the BIOS. Most MSI motherboards have a function in the BIOS. Can this also be done, Ruud, via MSI Center?
Yeah, I think that's the preferred way even, because if we switch back to the MSI Center.
Yes.
So, for example, this motherboard has a switch inside the BIOS where you can toggle off the RGB, but it only controls the motherboard. So the graphics card, if it has RGB, it will still be displayed.
Yeah.
So I can show you, not really show you. Maybe, can you see the front RGBs? Yeah. So I have a switch here.
No, only RB.
Oh yeah, RB, the green is not
green
visible.
doesn't show.
But so now it's on, now it's off. That's just a hardware switch.
But this hardware switch is not available on all motherboards, right?
No.
It's more on the MPG and higher.
Yeah, MPG and higher. Inside the BIOS, there's like a software switch, which does exactly the same as this.
For all models?
Yeah, so it will also turn off other LEDs on the motherboard, so some or diagnostics LED as
so
well.
To repeat again, Ruud, so the switch is only on MPG models and higher, the hardware switch,
Yeah.
but the BIOS switch is available on all models, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it only controls the LEDs that are attached to your motherboard or
Yeah.
on the motherboard.
Yeah.
So the graphics card and the peripherals like keyboard, mouse, headsets, those are still running. So if you want to have those turned off or just temporarily turned
I go
off,
to MSI Center, right?
yeah, sorry, yes. I already switched to Mystic Light. There's a Mystic Light switch here, and that will turn off also the graphics card and the
yeah.
gaming gear.
So that's the model on the right next to you. Can you put your hand on? Yeah.
This one, yeah.
Yeah. Can you switch it on off?
Yeah.
Yes. So now it's on.
Yeah.
Maybe here.
Yeah, now it's on, now it's off. And maybe I can also show you the keyboard. I'm not sure if that's really visible. The cable's too short.
Maybe if you lay it on the floor, it's more. On your desk, it's more easier.
That part, right?
Sorry.
No, it's not that visible.
Just put it down, then it's more visible. Is it now on?
No, it should turn on.
Oh, we found a bug.
Oh, that's the first bug.
For sure, not the last one.
Oh, now it's switched to turn off. Yeah, that's a bug, definitely. Can you switch to?
MSI Center, yes.
Yes, it used to be on Whirlpool because it's like a nice RGB.
I switched to the main cam, and it still doesn't work.
I have to apply.
Sorry.
And
yeah,
now
sorry,
it should
sorry.
work, right?
Yeah. Yeah. If you lay it down, we see it much
so
better.
if I turn it off, it switches off. If I turn it on, wait for it. It says in the display whirlpool, but it's not on.
Yeah.
So if I go to motherboard and then go back to keyboard, it says off again. Hey, that's the first bug.
Yeah.
Today, or
So,
at least this session.
Yeah, so it can be a lot of reasons for this. Maybe this is engineering hardware we're using because we just took some products from the shelf. It can also be a real bug, but this already shows you, there are a lot of different combinations, and especially gaming gear, each device can use a different controller. So, and each controller needs to be programmed.
Yeah, but this needs to be checked, so we will be feedbacking this to software team.
So also, if you find any bugs, please send it to our support team because they can relay that to our software team so it gets fixed.
Yeah.
And no doubt you need to put it on the forum and complain about your grievance. I mean, that's your right. But please also, besides that, send it to us because then we can fix it.
I just put down the notebook. If we need it, I can just pick it up.
No, I don't.
Actually, the mouse has the same problem. So the mouse is also turned off.
Maybe we stop now and we come back next week, Ruud, with fixes?
Yeah.
No.
So this is feedback number 1 from the live stream. So software team, I hope you're watching.
Nah, that should be in bed.
Yeah, but we'll give you this link.
Yeah. So let's continue. Some modules we don't want to show you too long or too in depth because we did this one, for example, SoundTune. We did a live stream about it already. I saw somebody in the chat. I don't remember who. He had a problem with SoundTune. It was forgetting his settings or something. Who was it? Nah, anyway. Please let us know if you were this person. SoundTune basically removes background noise. And it's quite efficient because I was like using a vacuum cleaner through the live stream and it can be filtered completely away. Or if you just make sound like this or playing guitar. I also played guitar during that live stream. I think already 1 year ago this live stream, right?
1 year ago? That one?
Yeah, should be. Okay.
Also,
better anti-cheat compatibility, and this is very difficult because this is always case by case. We had a big problem with LED keeper.exe, which triggered anti-cheat in certain games. Dragon Center software, Ruud, also you said something with Flash, BIOS Flash, you now found an issue?
The AMI Windows Flash utility seems to be also flagged by Face-IT, Face-IT. And that's also a platform where you can connect to different game servers and stuff. Yeah.
So this will always happen. I mean, when you work with programs and you have overlays and the anti-cheat improves their rules or improves, adjusts their rules, then these things can happen. And whenever we encounter this, we are working ASAP to improve this, either from our side or together with the anti-cheat software.
We had something similar with the Nahimic part, with the sound tracker part, which was seen as a cheat because it was.
It was a cheat, yeah.
But now it's disabled by default, so if you want to use it, you have to enable it manually.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but that's how they dealt with the anti-cheat software.
Yeah.
So don't run it if you're doing competitive gaming.
Yeah, so some things which are also in MSI Center, and today we're not going to talk about demo it or talk in detail, just give you a small update because basically we did not touch these modules yet. Also a lot of things we can improve on these. Game mode, maybe Ruud, you can explain?
Yeah, a gaming mode at the moment only gives you some settings per game. We've tried to maximize this as more as a profile-driven feature, but we're still waiting for the development on that part.
So for this, we want to add profiles to make it more flexible and.
So you can control the whole system if you run, for example, CS:GO or whatever game, and then it will switch to your settings. So maybe the mouse sensitivity and the speaker volume, or maybe even the Nahimic profile or the Mystic Light colors. If you want to have certain settings, you are in control and you can switch it by game or
Yeah.
by application even, because I personally think it's not just gaming. If you want to do, for example, watching YouTube or watching Netflix or some other videos, maybe you want to have all the lights turned off, right?
Yeah.
That will be a good thing. And also
Switch maybe to cinema display settings.
yeah, for example,
sound settings.
Yeah, but also the fan speed should lower, like a silent mode or something
movie
like
theater
that.
mode.
Yeah. So we've already feedback this kind of idea for almost a year now.
So Mary, to answer your question, can MSI Center export and import profiles? No.
No.
But this is something like one of the ideas what we're working on.
Yeah.
And yeah, no promise here when this will be finished, because we have a long list with things we want to do. And this is not really bug fixing, because how it is now, it works. And we did not see a lot of complaints about it. But from our side, we know this can be improved, offering way more flexibility per application. Also, Ruud, I saw a nice discussion. Lord Mage says, I got it working, but without IQ installed. There was a question like, are you with MSI Center, sorry, with Mystic Light going to support, I don't know what, like third-party applications like IQ or like, what else do you have from all those vendors?
Yeah.
Razer, Corsair, they all Asus, they all have something.
Yeah, I think Corsair, we already cooperate with them for at least the memory modules. So if you have the older, the Corsair Vengeance RGB, then it works without any utility installed from Corsair. So that's the old stuff. The newer stuff is the Vengeance RGB Pro. Those need like the IQ3 running in the background. So basically Mystic Light will connect to IQ, and that will control the memory LEDs.
Yeah, I think the question is more, can you do it like control MSI motherboards in IQ, for example?
Not at the moment, no.
This is not something what we're working on, right?
No.
Not that we know.
No, not that we know, no.
Yeah. The biggest problem here is basically that there is no, as far as I know, probably I get killed in the chat, but there's no standard, like an open source standard, which everybody is supporting. Haha, that's the tricky word, which everybody is supporting. No, I mean, you know, there is in this industry, when RGB happened, everybody is making their own solution, and there is no like common interface framework or API agreement in order to control this. And that's also why, yeah, I mean, we can control MSI hardware from our system. We spend a lot of time on expanding this ecosystem from a lot of hardware vendors. Maybe Ruud, you can go to the website, search for, one moment, I go to MSI Center, what is the landing page? Mystic Light landing page. Just say MSI Mystic Light, you probably find it.
Wrong keyboard. I have two keyboards.
Yeah, that one. So over here, compatible models at the bottom. Yeah, same.
Yeah, just click the link, that's easier.
Yeah, there's a huge list with compatible models, either memory, SSDs. Ruud, can you click SSDs? I was like,
yeah.
wow, are there so many RGB SSDs? Amazing. Yeah, so...
I think cases are not that interesting because usually they have the same RGB headers and CPU coolers as well.
Yeah.
Of course, fans are also controlled through the same headers. I think the SSD part and the memory, that's the tricky one.
There are more items if you move...
Yeah, more? Oh yeah, power supply even.
And see more at the bottom? You can expand it.
Also mouse mats and even a whole desk.
Yeah.
See more. Other brands keyboard and mouse.
So yeah, we try to support as many. There is even more, Ruud.
There's even more?
No, see on the right. Peripherals?
Yeah, I was at RGB accessories.
All the small stuff.
Yeah, of course, these are just hubs or switches,
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, you're completely right. There should be like one standard, and that all the software easy works with all the hardware, no matter what software you have or what hardware.
Yeah, I think anything connected through a addressable or regular RGB connector is easy to support if you just plug it into your motherboard.
Yeah.
The tricky part is, of course, the things without a cable. So meaning the SSDs that slot into an M.2 slot, and the memory that slot into the DIMM slot. So that will have to be controlled through the third-party controller, like the Corsair one.
Yeah.
So Corsair recently released their IQ version 4, and that's not working with the Mystic Light yet. So they're working on that part as well. So they're checking with Corsair at the moment.
Yeah.
So software team already asked us to be patient about that.
We are patient.
At the moment, IQ version 3 is the one if you want to control Corsair memories through the MSI Mystic Light.
Okay. So let's go back to the gaming stuff. So we had gaming mode. We also have MSI Companion. And for MSI Companion, Ruud, if I'm not mistaken, you need to install a third-party app, right?
No, that's the...
that's the next one. Okay, so yeah.
The highlight one is that.
Yeah. So MSI Companion is like some on-screen display. Yeah. But yeah, if you are into this, better use Afterburner.
Yeah, it's much more flexible and gives you much more details.
Yeah.
Also can be captured by software capture like OBS and stuff.
And this one cannot be captured, and it can only show limited information on the screen.
Yeah, it's quite limited, but it's just offered for free.
Yeah. Then a game highlight, and this I was saying you need external software in order to use this. And yeah, basically this you can record, stream your game moments, watch them back, etc. Similar like Shadowplay from Nvidia if you have a what is it, RTX card? Maybe also GTX. Yeah, GTX as well. Yeah,
I think all of them lately. Also, AMD offers the same in their driver, and if you want to have more control, then OBS is I think the most used one.
Yeah, indeed. Smart priority.
That's more for the content creator and maybe even for the people who do like rendering, so they can give more priority to their rendering tasks and just finish a little bit faster than regularly. So
Smart Priority used to be only in our Creator software for the Creator hardware, but now it's in MSI Center, and you also get this feature on with the gaming motherboards. And yeah, like what Ruud said, if you have certain workflow with this, you can put CPU priorities, CPU cores towards different applications, and if you have a certain workflow, you can speed up the processes. But you need to know what you're doing.
Well, you can basically do this already in Windows, but it's kind of tricky. So this is just an easier interface to do that, and it gives you like a priority list. So the one that's the most priority will get the highest or the most CPU cycles, if you will.
Corsair and MSI both installed. Doesn't seem to work, David James is saying. Two last comments.
I don't know. It depends on the hardware, of course, and it also depends on the software. I think it's best to to send as much details as possible through the account.msi.com.
Support, yeah.
And also screenshots, that will help.
Yeah, so then we have a Smart Image Finder, and Ruud and me, we're still puzzled why this is in there. Right?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with MSI hardware, so I think this is an excellent feature for Google Photos or any other cloud storage photo service. Yeah. But we're not offering cloud storage, so not sure why this is in MSI Center.
But when we fix our priorities, maybe this is at the bottom of the list, and it's there already, so it's working.
If you don't want it, just don't install it.
Yeah, so we talked about this yet. So Mystic Light improvements, Ruud, you can show this, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So the first time I installed MSI Center through the store, so that's the one everybody's seeing right now. So we changed the layout a little bit. Basically, the settings now are more into tabs, so you can just step through the tabs here easily. Also, what we prioritize is the hardware devices here, and well, I'm showing the mouse is not a very good example because only limited colors can be displayed, but for example the motherboard. If I go to a setting that can select any color, then you can see the color selection wheel is much more intuitive now, and you can also save some favorite colors. It's not perfect yet because I still had some bugs with it, but you can just click on it and say, okay, I want this to be there, and apply. And then the motherboard should turn bluish. And of course you can save many favorite colors, and you can use that through all your devices. Also, we wanted to give the game sync more priority, so it's here and not hidden under a certain button like the ambient link part. Because game sync should not rely only on Nanoleaf or Philips Hue. We're still discussing with the product managers as well what we should do with this in the future. And software team also needs to implement that. So the game sync part is basically if you have a game that is supported. There are not that many here yet. There's one more there. That it can do like in the game, the event-based stuff. It can show you colors on your RGB stuff on the hardware.
Yeah, so with Mystic Light we didn't touch yet, and what you see here is not available in the public version yet. This is a new beta version we have here, and yeah, still work in progress. A lot of things we still want to change.
The game sync is a very interesting feature for gamers if we support a little bit more games, and it's working already, but yeah, more games is necessary, of course. Yeah. I think this is a cool feature. Also, the ambient link part is to connect to external devices like Nanoleaf and Philips Hue, and if you have those connected, then it will also pop up here in the devices list, which was not in the current version.
Yeah, so in some weeks' time we will have a RGB live stream talking more in detail about RGB.
Yeah.
And gaming and ambient link and all this kind of thing.
Yeah. I think that's definitely interesting. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about performance, Ruud.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe it's too small to see, but yeah, also, you know, Dragon Center had could have, I should not say had, but it could have a big impact on the performance, up to 4 to 5%. 4.5 to 4 to 4.5%, and this was always depending on what kind of hardware you have. And this resource problem we now also fixed in MSI Center. So MSI Center load is way less. But we also fixed this in the latest version of Dragon Center. Yeah. So it means most focus will be on MSI Center. In the end, everything will go to MSI Center. But if there's something critical, we still can fix in in MSI Center. Then we will do that. In Dragon Center, then we will of course do that as well. So can you run some benchmarks, Ruud?
Yeah. Well, basically, it still has impact on performance because, for example, the Mystic Light effects need to be sent to the keyboard, the mouse, and stuff like that. It's USB based, so some CPU cycles need to be done. And also, it depends a little bit on how you use it. But what I've seen so far is that if Dragon Center is open and you have the Mystic page running,
so if you go to Dragon.
Yeah, then it uses a little bit more resources than it does with the MSI Center, and it's so there is so little usage that it's really small, but also needs to be in idle mode to see it, because if all kind of Windows processes in the background are running, then you see the activity of that and not of Mystic Light. So what you see now is that, for example, I've selected the IA cores power. Package power is maybe around 20 something watts, but the actual cores are doing anywhere between 4 and 15 watts. And it will settle, so if I let it run, then let me reset the averages. So what I did before, it was running around 10 watts, something like that. If I do the same with the MSI Center, then it should run a little bit less. So maybe 7 or 8.
You want me to switch?
Yeah, if you can switch. Let me switch to this page. Waiting it to settle.
So, this is on the Mystic Light page, or not?
Yeah, if you have them open, if you close or minimize the MSI Center and the Dragon Center, then both of them are using less resources.
Okay.
Even, and then they're pretty close.
Yeah.
I can show you that as well.
But yeah, both now are fixed. So in the past we had like up to 4.5% performance impact. That is now fixed, and they still have, of course, a performance impact because you're running software. That's normal.
I think on average is between 1 and 1.5%.
Yeah, but MSI Center has less impact than.
Yeah, MSI has less impact when it's open. If they're both are
idle, then it's the same.
Yeah,
both minimized and both are the same. Yeah.
Then they're almost the same. It doesn't see that much. But if you look at it now, it's between 3 and 5 watts. So let me reset the counter a little bit, then we'll get a better average. So anything between 3 and 9. So it will settle for 6 or something between 6 and 7. And you can see the little spikes going up, right? And that's the activity of the Mystic Light, and that's the activity of MSI Center running. You see the same on the Dragon Center, or very similar. If I uninstall MSI Center, then this will run almost flat at around 2 to 2.2 watts. It will be very smooth. No spikes at all, but that's the activity you can see. And I also try to see it in, for example, the task manager, but the details are too rough. You cannot really see the details that much, so that's why I'm using the HW info. And you can also see the spikes in clock frequency and the total CPU usage, but it's so minimal that, yeah. And this is the max CPU per thread usage, so that is how much one core is the maximum running. So, and of course, most of the time it's running at 800 megahertz, so not that much load. So if you run the Cinebench 20 benchmark, then it will probably lose between 1 and 1.5% performance by running MSI and Mystic Light in the background.
Yeah, so that's a big step compared to the 4 to 4.5% in the past.
Yeah.
Optimized, and yeah, I mean, of course we continue optimizing this, but I think now it's quite decent already.
Yeah. So if you're an overclocker, don't install it.
Yeah,
but for everyone else, just use the MSI Center, and you will won't notice any difference.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you will get some extra RGB performance.
Yeah, indeed. What? CJ is saying RGB decreases FPS. No.
No. And you put it on red. That's more FPS.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Indeed. I saw some interesting questions. Again, about 10 Gen notebook support. Sorry, we don't know. We will check. Maybe next week we will have an answer for you. But at this moment we don't know. We only know that 11 Gen is supported. Ambient link doesn't work with my RAM. Yeah, please check the support list. Not everything, because there's a lot of different memory out there.
Yeah.
And we cooperate with a lot of memory vendors, but of course, yeah, everything needs to be validated, sometimes custom made, so this all takes time. Where did I see another? Oh yeah, Ivan Lopez on YouTube is asking. He's asking for a friend actually. Is MSI Center? Sorry, those names. Is Dragon Center? Will it stop receiving updates? No, like what we just showed you. This is one of the more recent updates with improved performance, I should say, or more efficient. So we still do critical updates, but of course our priority and our focus on development will move to MSI Center, and some of the older models will also get MSI Center support, but yeah, that's step by step. And again, 10 gen notebooks, I don't know, sorry. Which doesn't mean no, but also doesn't mean yes, I just don't know. Is for Creator laptops. For Creator laptops we have MSI Center Pro. A special version you can download in the shop.
Yeah, and the older models use the Creator Center.
Yeah.
There's two versions, Creator Center.
Yeah, I will do another giveaway. I already draw a winner via a loyalty bonus, nickname Dan. So Dan, congrats. Maybe there are 4 people in chat who are called Dan. Well, the Dan with an email in the coming days, he won. Enjoy your Steam wallet code. So Ruud, you're going to do benchmark, and this is on MSI Center, right?
I'm going to run the benchmark with Mystic Light and MSI Center running in the background and see what score we get. And uninstall it and see what else we get.
So that's the last step, uninstall it.
Yeah. If you're not happy, just uninstall it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will leave this here.
I also ran tests on gaming, but gaming didn't show any difference. Also didn't depend on high FPS gaming like CS:GO, and also the more graphical intense games didn't really matter. Actually, it's quite low now. Oh.
So CJ, you won enough codes, not? He's not even trying, he said. Always gone within a second. Yeah, not always. I mean, this is not something what we're doing a lot. Only me. Peter was already complaining about. What? You just put him in the chat? What game was it? Nobody knows.
Do you want to see anything from the MSI Center? Otherwise, I'll uninstall it.
Yeah, no, I think you can. Fossil AI cooling. Maybe we can talk about that short.
Yeah,
I mean, we are not going to demo it.
Yeah. Actually, might not be very useful on this system since it doesn't have any sys fan attached to it. Yeah. The fans here in front of are attached to the radiator, and that is connected to the CPU fan header, not to the sys fan header. So the silent mode and performance mode, I think that's not that interesting, but the manual mode seems to be cool, because now you can also trigger the system fan with the GPU temperature. So if you, well, apparently it's not working. So
Niles, what is his name? Niles Word, he got the code, and it was Watch Dogs Legions. Watch Dogs Legion. He's telling that on Twitch.
I thought I could just drag the points like we could, but that's another point of feedback we need to give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why, we only talked a bit more in depth about a few modules because we worked on it. We gave feedback, which was a priority to improve this Well, will be maybe
I
next.
believe with the K series water cooling, this is also one of the key features, right?
That's something for next week.
Yeah, that's yeah. Okay. So yeah, not really useful if you don't have a sys fan in this system, but yeah.
Yeah. So just uninstall it.
About the cooling part, we also said you can also customize stuff inside the user scenario part, where you can, for example, enable some bias settings. And
I saw also fast boot here. So here it went.
yeah, fast boot you can enable. You can also tweak some voltages. And this was also in the command center. And you can also overclock a little bit if you want to try that. I always click the X and then it just closes. Interface-wise, we still need to improve. The CPU fan, for example, that's the one we have in the pump fan, but it's not controllable.
So maybe here you can change it.
You should be able
Looks
to
disabled.
change it. It's
Did you connect it?
disabled, but I don't know why. And the pump fan, I at least have the option to change it, but it will not respond to any changes because it's always running full speed, I guess. Oh, then I clicked it again. But yeah, for the system fans, you can set up different
What's the
fan
white
profiles.
part?
What, sorry?
The white circle.
It means 0.
Ah.
0 RPM because I don't have any sysfan 1 connected.
Aha, okay, clear.
And it's jumping up and from left to right because that's probably the temperature it's detecting.
Okay, so yeah, uninstall it and then we do another benchmark. For people just joining, if you have any problem with Dragon Center, MSI Center, please use this tool. I will put it in the chat again. Just to completely remove the software, and then if you want to install MSI Center, so basically we're moving from Dragon Center to MSI Center on certain hardware. Go to the Microsoft Store and search for MSI Center, and then you can install it. Sometimes it'll say not supported, and that basically means it's not supported.
Someone's asking about the Alpha 15 Ryzen 7 4000 series.
No,
that one's still in Dragon Center.
Yeah, only the 5000 is supported,
yeah, the
right?
5000 should be on there.
Sorry, Ruud, I should be here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still uninstalling, so it should pop up that it's successfully uninstalled, and then we can retest.
Please stop spam. Who's spamming? Is there a link to report bugs? Yes, he just uninstalled it. But basically, well, actually, is there a link to report bugs? I wanted to redirect him to support.
Yeah, you can just relay it to support, and or you can also type it into the account.msi.com and say I have a technical issue, and just select it's a software-related issue. I need to restart, then it will be completely uninstalled. The MSI Center will be completely uninstalled. Yeah.
So the problem with these kind of bugs is a lot of times it's hardware related due to specific setup, and not so much to the generic program. So that's why support is also involved. Because it's not directly a software bug. First, support needs to confirm, okay, this is a software bug, or it's maybe another issue with configuration.
Yeah, or hardware or bias or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, fast reboot. Should I go back, or do you want to run it side by side?
Well, we can also run this one. So now Dragon Center is open in the background at the Mystic Light page, and we can see how much impact that has.
Well, not much, because we don't see the score.
I will drag it in the right view. On this part, on the MSI Center, so that's this system. Once Windows has been loaded, then the clocks will stay at the maximum for a while, so about 1 to 1.5 minutes.
Why is that?
Yeah, I think it's just a Microsoft thing. I'm not sure.
Or maybe still loading things in the background, unpacking.
The load is not that high if you see how much calculations going on. Now it's a little bit higher at 35 watts.
Speak of the devil.
It just drops to 4 watts, something like that. Once it becomes what they call long idle, then it will be around 2 to 2.2 watts, I believe. And stuff in the background might still be starting and stuff. There will be peaks, of course, but that's also Windows services in the background. But the peaks used to be a lot higher with the MSI Center running in the background. Let's scroll down a little bit and then reset. There's a big spike there. You always see like a live demo. But it should be, if you let it run for like 5 minutes or so, then it will be quite smooth and around 2 to 2.1 watts. We used to be on 6, right? So that's the load you will get from the MSI Center. So that's the lost CPU cycles there, and that should also translate to some benchmark loss. The Dragon Center one has finished. It got a 5710 points, so that's slightly less than the one with the MSI Center. Actually, the last time I tested it, I didn't load all the modules, only the same modules as Dragon Center. So maybe that's the reason why the MSI Center got a lower score than in my previous testing. But
that's always when we do these things live.
Yeah.
And we just need to show how it is, not how it should be.
So it's about 5900. That's 150 to 200 points less.
Yeah.
So that's the impact of MSI Center, depending on what kind of features you have installed, of course.
And both have the performance fix, right? Because in the past, Dragon Center was even more slower.
Yeah. Also lowered some boost clocks as well. So we don't see that anymore.
Okay. I think that was it, right?
That was it.
Anything else you want to show, Ruud?
No, that was it. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody, if you want to try it again, go to the Microsoft Store and install MSI Center. You can check on the product page of your product if it is supported, and we would love your feedback. So please, below this video or live stream after it's finished, leave us your suggestions, your complaints, your IDs, your issues, not personal issues. We only want MSI Center issues. So also Dragon Center issues, I mean, they're welcome, but please try MSI Center, because that's what we're working on to improve all the things. Somebody's laughing out loud, so it means he has personal issues. Anyway, thank you all for joining this week. I will do another lucky draw. Actually, I already did it. TJ is TJ Dot is the next winner. Congrats. Enjoy your Steam wallet code. You will get it in the coming days via email. Yeah, one last code. That was the last code. So next week we are going to talk about the new Core Liquid Series S. It's a very silent water cooling with a new fans. And I already saw, did you see this, Ruud, from Igor's lab, the test? He was quite impressed by the fans.
Which one?
the Silent Gale fans.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't tested that one, but my colleague Peter, he will be here next week, right?
Yeah.
So
indeed.
yeah, he's also testing the water cooler. So
yeah, and we will also show you the whole complete lineup of MSI of water coolings, and we hope not to damage one, because last time I think Peter cut one open, right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I have the empty one.
Well, I heard it was filled with water again.
Yeah, not completely.
Okay. Anyway,
there's some bubbles in it.
Thank you all. Also, thank you to our software team, and yeah, we will be complaining more.
Feedback.
Oh yeah. We will give more feedback to them. Anyway, thank you all. I hope you have a nice week, rest of the week, and stay safe, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.